And here we go. Hello, I'm Ralph Famigletti, and today is March 22nd, 2019. I'm here with Valley instructor Nancy Schuler, who teaches acting. Good afternoon, Nancy.
Hi, Ralph. Nice to see you.
Yeah. Let me guess, Nancy. You've done some acting in your career?
I have, yeah. Many years ago, I started doing commercials or modeling and then put it on the back burner for a while. And then recently, the past 5 years or so, I've done a lot of acting. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you now. You've done a lot of... If there was one role, one performance that you really feel you nailed, I mean, this was... If you were going up for an Oscar, Nancy, this is what you want on the screen. What's your best performance?
Well, it's an interesting question. I don't have to think too much about it. It would probably be the first monologue that I wrote, and it's about my Italian grandmother. I perform it in her accent, in her voice, and she died in 1944, but I have brought her back, and she's alive on stage. I still perform it, and still makes me cry, and yeah, that would be it.
And how long of a performance is that? It's a one-woman show?
It's part of a one-woman show where I do 3 or 4 monologues. Each one is 10 minutes long. So it's 10 minutes. That seems to be what the modern audiences like nowadays, you know, short attention span.
Well, you haven't won an Oscar. Have you ever won anything? Right.
Yes, I have. This is how it got started. I wrote that monologue about my Italian grandmother, and I sent it into the New York Public Library, was having a contest for short one-act plays. And I was in Italy, as a matter of fact, when I found out about it. I opened up my email, and there it was, an email from the New York Public Library. They liked my monologue, and they asked me to come into New York to perform it. So that was terrific. That was the beginning of all of it.
Well, you know, we're a celebrity-orientated society. Do you ever run into anybody famous, actor, director, producer?
I've been, recently, I did film a movie, just one scene, with a well-known director. His name is Adam Leon. But the scene I am in, there's a young actress, her name is Vanessa Kirby, and she played Princess Margaret on the very popular show, The Crown. I think it's a Netflix show, I'm not sure. And she won the BAFTA Award for Best Supporting Actress. That's the English Academy Award. So I got to be in a scene with her, and it was fabulous, really. A little starstruck, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, how do you translate your acting abilities into teaching abilities? I mean, what?
Similar. I can honestly say it's similar. You know, when you get up in front of a classroom, it's a little bit similar to getting up in front of an audience on the stage. And when you're an actor, though, you're trying to be someone else. That's what you do. That's what it's all about. As a teacher, you want to be yourself, but you want to perform in such a way to keep them interested, to get your point across, to not be monotone. You have to use some of the same techniques for acting and teaching.
So you'd say a director's relationship with an actor is kind of the same as a teacher's relationship with the student. You try to get the most out of them?
I could say that, you know, and a good director gives you what he has in mind. He lays the groundwork, and then he will let you develop that and sometimes add words to it, but you create the character. And I think a good teacher does that too. You give your class the information. You don't want them all to be cookie cutter. You want them to take that information and use it in their own way and spew it out in their own way too.
Nancy, we have a class coming up soon.
Right.
Do you have a theme for today? What are you working on today with your students?
Well, we've been working on change of self, it's called. Last week we did where each student had to receive 3 telephone calls from 3 very different people. A bill collector, a lover, a child, and they had to act differently on the phone. Today we're taking that a little bit further, where they're going to change their personalities a little bit depending on what they're wearing. You know, whether the man has a tuxedo on or he's a construction worker, he goes home, he takes his construction clothes off, he relaxes, subtle changes in behavior.
Well, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like, I mean, you're not an instructor behind the podium lecturing. You're like a hands-on gal. I mean, you are individual attention. Am I saying you're right?
They're doing the work, and that's the whole thing. They would want to be actors or learn about being actors, and they already know how to be an audience. They already know how to sit in a classroom. This is the time when they can step away from that desk and pretend they're on stage. And if today you film a little bit, it's their opportunity to really act in front of the camera.
Well, that's terrific, Nancy. Nancy, we're going to start class up soon, but would you mind if I stay in video?
Yeah, we need an audience. Yeah, thank you. They would love to have you there.
I will do that. Thank you so much for your time.
That's great, yes.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. Okay. We did
And you know what I mean? I'm sorry about not having the microphone on the first
That's
time.
okay. We did
Yeah, and
okay.
you know, that's why when you see them like with the snapping cut,
Yeah.
you know, take 42, you know, I'm saying.
Oh, you have no idea how many takes we do.
So it took a short rehearsal of 2 takes. I'll straighten this up.
It's okay.
I'll straighten it
All
up.
right, I'm out of here.
Bye. Thank you again so much, Nancy.
Nice.
And look for.
Class, too, but thank you.
Okay, this is done. So. Shelley, is the library open till 5? Okay, thank you, sorry, okay, I didn't want to down. How long did you plan open? I have to download stuff onto YouTube, and my home server is real slow.
Okay, I mean, you can say till 4, nobody's here now. If you wanna come back Monday, we'll be open.
If I come back Monday and do it.
No,
Okay, thank you. Oh, Shelley. I'm the guy who requested vehicles to Monty to help. I just go through videos. Just so you know who the guy is.
No, I knew who you are, and I knew you were working on that, and I approved the project.
Okay.
I mean, if you want, I can turn the computer on.
No, you want to go home.
Well, there's no issue, that's the whole thing. And
Okay.
the door's closed till it's 8.
I saw it was 5 o'clock. Okay, go home. Have a good weekend.
No, I'm not going home.
Oh, you're even here. What? Oh, then skip it then. Goodbye. How late is you on open?
Tonight?
Today?
Till 6.
Till 6?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can come back there and use the lobby till 6 then, right?
Yeah, there's a problem with it, but there's someone working the desk and like, yeah.
No, you have to upload stuff and the econ server is much better than my server. Okay, geez. I just got to run my car and get my laptop. Can I leave it here? Don't lose this, it's important. Thank you. I'll be right back.
No hours, she really Yeah, because all he said.